We are live. Welcome back to another episode of the Platform Podcast, Houston, Texas edition. But today we are shooting from a very special place. We are in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Yep. We are in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, post game of the LSU versus Louisiana Tech game. LSU won that game pretty handily. As they should, the number 3 team in the country. Nothing to be talked about. You know, they got a bunch of Texas players on the team, of course. But let's get into week 2 of Texas high school football in Houston. I was at the Iowa Colony game last night versus Crosby, and it was a dominant performance. I actually felt like, in ways, our Colony really could have put their foot on the gas a little bit more, and but nonetheless, it still was a dominant victory. Shout out to Jaden Warren. Shout out to Carson White. Those guys stepped up in a major way. The defense was amazing. I think one big play, which came from a broken tackle from the defense that allowed a player from Crosby side to score. Other than that, it was pretty much total domination on both sides of the ball. The passing game looks pretty good from Miles Colony. And I said this before the season started. I said this last year. They are undoubtedly the biggest threat to Richmond Randall this year in 5A Division II. No question. As far as, winning everything, we'll see. We'll see how everything develops. But it's in Houston, I believe it's round. You got to put Randall first. They're the champs. And right here is our Colony. It's not that big of a gap. Trust me. And I actually would like to see how that match up. A running team versus a team who can run the ball in our Colony, but I feel like they want to throw that field around a little bit more. But very dominant win. Out to those guys. They keep the ball rolling. They're 2-0 now. North Shore and Shadow Creek bounces back in a major way. They both pitched shutouts last night. Both teams. I want to say 39-0 for Shadow Creek and 42-0 for North Shore over Crowley. Remember, last year they went to Crowley and they won. I want to say it was a fairly low scoring game, and they kept Crowley in the game for a while. I can't remember the score, but I know that game they had like 5-6 turnovers or something like that. So it made the score look a little bit better what it was. But this year, this game they didn't play around. The defense looked good. Shout out Aubrey Johnson, he looked good. Caleb Maryland, all those boys over there. Listen, we're going to see if North Shore, if this can be like that 2021 team. You remember when they lost the first game of the year to Westfield? This was before Caleb Bailey was, the starter for the rest of the year. It was kind of, and he was in a rotation with him and another kid before he kind of reached and grabbed, the horns or whatever. But let's see if it can be like one of those years. First game, and then lose no more for the rest of the season. Went on winning state, against Duncanville for the third time. Let's see if they can, they can repeat that same formula. But they did look good on both sides of the ball. So we'll see. They're in a tough division, tough district. Sorry, Summer Creek, Atascocita, Sea King. We'll see. Shadow Creek as well. I believe they still are the favorites to win their district. 6A is brutal. 6A is brutal. Last week, no shame in losing to Summer Creek. Summer Creek is a up and coming powerhouse, a new developing powerhouse, so to speak. So they bounce back in a major way. Katy is struggling right now. They are now 0-2 on the season. They lost week 1 against Dickinson, and they lost last night against Atascocita. Two good teams, but I think it's kind of the way they lost, which is not the Katy way. They're giving up a lot of points. Katy run the ball, they play defense. They still run the ball pretty well. That's what it is. But the defense is not where it needs to be. Still have time to turn things around. Coach Gary Joseph, he do an amazing job with those boys year in and year out. They're resilient. You can never count them out. A Katy team, same. I won't say the same every year, but they're a hard fought team that don't go down easy. That don't matter. They may be outmatched physically, athletically. They're still going to be right there. But these first two games kind of giving me, some type of concern. I don't know. It's looking a little rough right now. Hopefully they can shake back, and then we can start seeing the Katy teams that we used to seeing. I know they have the best, or one of the best fan bases in the city. No questions asked. They deserve, a little better than what the product been showing the last couple of weeks. I'm gonna keep it real. Katy, it's go time. I understand y'all been playing two dogs the last 2 weeks. Show what make the city proud. Like bring back that championship caliber defense. Like the offense, like I say, what it is. The formula for offense. Run, set up the pass, play action, boom, boom, boom. Like defense stout always up front in the trenches. They always got good trench play. But they are worrying me a little bit. It's cause for pause, but we will see. I'm not gonna count them out just yet. It's 2 games in the season. Let's keep rolling. Let's see how it looks. Dickinson, speaking of, a team who beat Katy last week, that's the team to watch. I was closely had my eyes on that Dickinson versus C.E. King game, man. And for a while, C.E. King looked like they was about to I don't say run away with it, but it looked like they had that game in hand. And Dickinson just turned it on. That second half, they only allowed 7 points. They was getting blitzed in that first half. I think they gave up 33. The score was 47-40. And it was a big time shootout. It was kind of like tale of 2 halves. Dickinson was getting blown out in the first half. So yeah, they were. Yeah, that's right. C. King was blowing them out. So they were running away with it, and it was kind of like the opposite. It was a blowout score-wise in the second half for Dickinson. They held them to 7 points, and they scored 30 plus points in the second half. Take a 47-40 victory. That was a very, very, very impressive win. So Dickinson is definitely my team to watch. It's a couple, be upsets every year. Somebody get upset. And Dickinson might do that to somebody this year, man. We're going to see. Klein Collins with the biggest statement win of this young season so far in Houston. 42-13 win, stamping win over Willis Wildcats. Jermaine Bishop. That was very impressive. That was impressive. Actually, I thought when I first saw the game, I was like, I don't know if they were sneaking up to beat Willis. I was like, I'm gonna keep one. I'm gonna have to watch that game off periphery. I'm gonna check that one out. I don't know. Then I look. Whoa, wait. What? Man, they coming out punching. Klein Collins, they looking like Tucker Parks back. Rodney Ojo back. Get back. Hey, man, they looking like them boys. Hey, Klein Collins, they looking like the best Klein team out there. Shout out my boys over there, Klein Collins. But let's get into the main event, the main topic of the night, the reason why we are here. A lot of times you will see a 5A team play a 6A team or a 4A team punch up to play a 5A team, a 3A play a 2A. A lot of times you will see, man, what? This team, this is 6A team, they should beat this 5A team, this 4A team should never be able to compete with this 5A. And they'd be the total opposite. Not only do that team that's on the lower level compete, they might win. They can win. And I think far too long we've associated these teams that's on a 4A or 3A, maybe even a 5A. Because we consider 6A as the main event. Because it's always the prime time games, always the most talked about games. Even the state championship games. 6A are the last two championship play, 6A D2 and 6A D1. Right? I get it, rightfully so. That they earn their respect. That's a lot of talent comes from there. A lot of Division I talent, respectfully. But people don't realize that that's just because the number of kids that go to the school. Bigger enrollment equals better? I don't think it does. I believe now if you have more kids enrolled, there's a better chance that you may have a better football team. If you got 1,000 kids and 300 wants to play football, yeah, pick out 50 kids out there, 300 that are the best kids to put them on one team, versus if a team got 700-800 kids and they may only have 150 to 200 want to play, yeah, it may be a little more difficult. But look at South Oakland. Look at Solana. Look at Anna. Look at Kilgore. Look at Carthage. They have kids who can play anywhere. I take it a step further. You can look at these charter schools. They have kids who can play anywhere. These private schools, we see it. Look at Keyshawn Henderson, may be the best player in the state. He's not on the 6A level. He's not on the 5A level. So you saying he can't play with? He can't go to a 6A school? Just because he go to a school that only have several hundred kids? That don't make sense to me. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. It's been shown. So I think we have to stop this narrative that, oh man, he was at the 6A school. He should never be playing a 4A. No, these kids are talented too. Bo Bentley is the 4A quarterback who's arguably the best quarterback in the state. One of the best quarterbacks in the country. He can ball anywhere. So it's, like I said, it may give a better chance to pick out these kids or whatever. But with great coaching and, I guess you can say the size in the trenches. Probably the most important. Size in front, and you need a quarterback. Anything else, you can work with anything else. You just need decent receivers, decent DBs, decent linebackers, decent running backs, decent tight ends, decent special teams. Get you a good O&D front. Get you a quarterback. Roll it out. Chips gonna fall where they may. Like it just that's just a formula. That's just what it is. And so let's please stop this saying that these lower level, I don't want to say lower level, but these 4A, 5A, 3A schools can't compete with divisions above them. Because that's not the case. Like Carthage been showing y'all actually. You know what I mean? So it's just all about finding that right mix. That's finding that right mix, man. Like if you can have a smaller school, and say you might have a school that's in a small country town, to where that's all they do is play football. So they breed nothing but football players. The whole school play football, and they might have 400, 500, 600 kids. But hey, they half of them on the football team. So I personally don't think that equals better. So when I see that, I think that's kind of not a fair statement to say. It's kind of disrespectful to those kids, because they can't control, what school that they go to. Not in some ways, but Not really. They're just children. They just go to school, whatever, probably that's closest by for the most part. Or the school that, that their parents went to or their bigger brother went to, or sister, wherever. That don't mean they can't ball. That do not mean they can't ball. So that's just my opinion on it. I would love to hear a lot of other people's opinions. Once this drop in the comments, I will be going back and reading those. So tell me what you think about that. Does bigger enrollment equals better? It's your boy Stats Man. We are out. The Platform Podcast.